Good evening and welcome to 16 by 9, The Bigger Picture. I'm Mary Garafello. We know her simply as Baby Kaylee. She's the sick little girl who captured the hearts of Canadians everywhere. Her family's fight to donate her heart to another sick baby was at the center of a media circus. In their first sit-down interview with our Mark McAllister, the family speaks candidly about how they went from heroes to outcasts.
It's a tale of genuine, heartfelt angst.
So now composure's so hard.
A dying baby's family torn between losing their daughter and trying to help another in need, all while battling the very institution attempting to save them both, as well as public opinion. When baby Kaley came into this world, parents Jason Wallace and Crystal Vitelli considered her a miracle.
Kaylee!
Uh-oh. You scared her.
Born with a rare brain disorder known as Joubert syndrome, the fragile little girl wasn't given much hope.
We thought that she wasn't going to live long, so again, we were preparing ourselves for a very short time, and it's hard.
They felt they had to make a decision, find a way to let go of their dying daughter, or desperately hold on to a life so precious.
We fought the doctors to, keep moving her forward and breathing.
The struggle then began to take its toll, both on baby Kaley, gasping for air while on life support, and her mom and dad. They were told it was only a matter of time, so they made one of the hardest decisions anyone would ever have to make.
If she can't breathe and she can't survive, then we need to do the right thing and put this heart out there.
Just a few weeks earlier, they saw the story of baby Lillian O'Connor, one floor below in hospital, born with a serious heart defect. If their little girl wasn't going to make it, they would try and see if she might live on through another child in need.
They want to make the ultimate sacrifice and the biggest gift you could ever give or receive, and we would love to accept that gift.
Both newborns, roughly the same size, baby Kaley's parents felt it would be a relatively easy process. Those in the medical community, however, quickly reminded them of the very strict rules surrounding organ donation. Dr. Dennis Danneman is pediatrician-in-chief at Toronto Sick Kids Hospital.
The rules and regulations that we follow, and everybody follows them in Canada, are such that this is anonymous donation and it goes according to the priority on the list.
Jason Wallace felt he needed to do the right thing, though, so he decided to take his case public and involve the media with the hope doctors would have a change of heart. Then, seemingly overnight, the hospital decided they would go ahead with the procedure to try and save a little girl's life while ending another. A moment both Kaley and Lily's families were waiting for, but nothing could have prepared them for the reality of what was to come.
And this was not our wish, and we're very upset about this.
On the evening of April 7th, 2-month-old baby Kaley, with her parents by her side, was removed from life support while Lily lay waiting in an operating room nearby. After more than an hour off her respirator, Kaley stayed awake and very much alive, prompting doctors to call off the surgery.
Right now, the child is not a candidate.
If the situation changes, then we will reevaluate at that time.
Her heart would beat on, despite what most had expected, and Kaley returned to intensive care along with Lily, the would-be recipient.
Proved everybody wrong. It's a very complicated condition she has. We were more focused and told to focus on the bad.
Baby Kaley's father raised even more questions, this time surrounding the care being provided by doctors and nurses, accusations the hospital has taken issue with.
Sometimes things don't go exactly as you'd planned and you need to change course.
From the beginning, Kaley's parents claimed their daughter was treated differently. Everyone involved in her care knew the brain disorder she was born with would make her life extremely difficult if she was to survive. So her family says they started receiving unsolicited advice.
They've mainly stressed, or all the time, quality of life. Being able to walk, see, talk, doing things that a normal child would do.
The messages they say they were getting from hospital staff involved the amount of money being spent to care for Kaylee and suggestions she no longer be fed.
Suggesting non-nutritional aspects, taking food away from your child, I don't think is an appropriate thing for any parent to have to be asked that question.
Many of these children have difficulty sustaining life, and then you need to go on to a different discussion of potential end-of-life discussions.
Jason Wallace, meanwhile, maintains the decisions being made on their baby's behalf weren't always coming from those with her best interests in mind.
They don't care. They make them for their interest and try to make themselves be the ones who are right.
Kaylee's fragile condition aside, the media spotlight started to burn that much brighter. Her father, eager to face the cameras throughout the entire ordeal, started to face much public scrutiny himself. In the midst of all that was facing his daughter, Jason Wallace still had an appointment to keep just a few blocks away in court.
I was a bad guy. I was a bad guy.
This time, the cameras, microphones, and questions were about his character while facing charges of aggravated assault and robbery.
Does that not reflect on your ability to parent?
No, it doesn't. It is nowhere suggested in any of my history that I've ever done anything that is suggestive to harm a child.
So, a slick PR man was hired, brought in to handle the media circus Wallace helped create. Press conferences were held to try and steer the focus back to sick kids and Kaylee's condition. Then, after a long and dramatic stay in hospital, the little baby's parents decided it was time to try and take their daughter home. A limo ride provided by the PR company handling their case would transport them to a local airport, where a helicopter was standing by.
She's doing amazing.
A respirator, feeding tube, and heart monitor would all be needed for the trek. A journey that would take very little time, but have everyone watching very closely. Just how effective could this young family be caring for such a sick little girl? Could they keep their precious 3-month-old safe while simply trying to spend more time with her?
Every 4 hours you gotta flush that and clean it out.
As it turns out, the new reality was short-lived.
Yeah, she just had one of her spells.
Less than 2 weeks later, baby Kaylee was back in hospital with an infection. Complications from the feeding tube she had inserted into her stomach. Right back to the very place where her journey began, fighting for her life with doctors by her side once again, her parents hopeful that she won't have to stay for long.
Quality of life in society should be judged by the people that love the person that's involved. If the person can't speak, walk, or talk, they certainly know you're there and you love them.
Put it in that face.